We'd all hold each other hold each other accountable.
The animals are loving us.
They're loving the veganism.
Hi guys. I just wanted to do a short announcement to say that I'm going to go from 2 videos a week to 1 video a week temporarily. I'm focusing on my final year of my environmental degree, so I need to focus a little bit of time on that. But I'm still going to be uploading every Thursday and then doing the occasional bonus Monday videos as well. Thanks. Enjoy the video. See, I'm asking people if they can share their thoughts on animal abuse. So what does animal abuse mean to you guys?
Breeding animals, it could be like dogs, or even like farming or killing them for fur, ivory, leather. That's kind of my
it's like
animal testing.
Unfair treatment of animals. Just, I mean, there's so many situations where like that kind of applies.
Yeah, and I think people would automatically go towards food, as in like using them for food, but there's a lot more that I think people wouldn't think about. So like cosmetics, like materials, like you were saying, like it's kind of everywhere if you don't choose carefully, I think.
And what do you think of animal abusers?
Not very great people.
I don't know any personally. I mean, unless you're supporting companies that actually do it, but it's difficult to know sometimes, I think, unless they're really transparent about it. But I don't know who would happily be transparent about animal abuse.
Yeah, so like a lot of money in it also, like with all like product testing, and I think sometimes if you found a product you really like and then you realise it has been tested, maybe some people won't switch over because they like that product.
Yeah, when it's things with like big businesses, I think lots of people overlook it. Like it's people maybe find it easier to ignore when it's a big company or a big business, because you're like, it doesn't feel so direct.
You don't see it,
right.
Like you never see it firsthand. Like growing up, I thought testing on animals, literally, they'd put a bit of mascara on I thought quite literally testing on an animal, the makeup, but it's like they're getting injected, they're getting like just tortured. So I think if people knew more about what it actually was, then maybe they change their ideas. I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think the main barriers people like that stop people from abstaining from animal abuse? Do you think it's like convenience?
Cost, I think.
Cost, yeah.
Convenience, maybe.
Lack
Not
of knowledge.
About it, lack of knowledge. I mean, that's on yourself to find out, but I think if it's not clear, obviously companies aren't going to be, they're going to avoid telling people as much as possible that they're, say, testing on animals. So I think people maybe don't even think about that when they should.
And also having choice, so maybe if high streets, if it was more normal to have, let's use like clothes as an example, if you did have a choice of a vintage shop, if you wanted to get fur, for example, you would go to the vintage one if it was there, I think. Probably be a lower cost than a brand new one anyway. So maybe it's about having the choice. But then again, cost would be the main issue, I think.
Do you think like cost or convenience excuses animal abuse? Say if someone says, it's more convenient for me to buy this thing rather than this thing, does that make the abuse of the animal okay?
No, but I think it's different for every person. So people who really don't have money, they're not going to spend loads more.
Like there's individual responsibility, but also it should be on like the people making these products and like doing these things. Like it shouldn't be allowed to happen in the first place. So it is wrong to like buy these things or to get these things, but they shouldn't even be available to get. Like it shouldn't be a choice for that people
should be normal.
Are making. Yeah.
Would you say it's like because these companies don't really care about the ethics, so they're trying to make money. That's their like pure incentive.
Yeah.
Do you think it should be on the individual because it's like supply and demand chains? So if the individual changes the demand, then the supply will change, become more ethical.
Definitely. I think everyone needs to take responsibility.
I think people just need to be like more aware. Like when I go to buy food, like I'll buy like free range eggs or something, or like I'll check the packaging of what I'm buying, but when it's going on my face, I'm not like reading it. I'm just like reading the front. Great for acne, brill, I get that, but I'm not like reading the back of it to be like checking for certifications, like if it's been tested or not. So I think just people might unknowingly be buying products that are tested on animals. They might have been buying it for years and not even noticing. So I think just more out there about what companies are up to, really.
Can I just say as well, so my last point, my last question for people is if they consider the animals which get confined in small spaces and slaughtered at a young age for meat, dairy and eggs, if they consider that abuse as well?
Yeah, definitely.
I
I'd
think
say.
if an animal is being harmed, it is abuse. Like, it's not
Yeah,
really
they're being
excusable.
treated unfairly, like when you see in like dairy farms where they're all like kept in like tiny spaces, like that is animal abuse.
And even
Yeah.
free range isn't.
It's not
the
free
guidelines,
range.
I don't think it actually is. They're not.
It's like a
running
little
free, are they?
cage outside.
It's slightly
not,
larger spaces, but did you know the practice behind it as well? So male chicks are macerated at birth, even for free-range farms. They can tell by the colour of their feathers if they're male or female, and they'll
just
just cull
kill them
them.
off.
So that's all the males. That's half the chickens that are born. Even if it's free-range eggs, even if we're not consuming the chicken meat, we're still adding to that production and the death of that animal. So the best thing we can do is abstain from all animal products.
Yeah.
Have you considered going vegan, any of you?
I did for 3 months, and it was fine, but I miss cheese. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's always, you just kind of miss something, which is like selfish. I only eat, well, I will admit I did eat some meat over Christmas, but that's just because it was in the house. But for about 5 years, I've been like veggie, pescatarian, so it's like I feel bad. Do you know what I mean? Like, I watched one video on YouTube, I was like, ooh, not again, and it is awful. Like, I still eat dairy, but one of the worst things I watched was the dairy farms and how it's like calves are just like drawn away from their mothers, or they're all like crying.
And it's kind of, in a way,
Yeah.
it's even worse because we're being hypocritical because we know.
Well, I know this stuff
that
and I
it's a
know how bad it
thing,
is.
And yet we still eat
Still
dairy.
aren't
I mean, I'm talking
vegan,
for us
yeah.
here. But
What do you think that is? Do you think again it's the convenience, the cost stuff, like those
Yeah.
excuses?
like I think if we had to, like one day we all would, and it wouldn't be difficult because we know that it's possible, especially in this day and age. Like, there's vegan stuff everywhere.
So
Yeah.
readily
so
available.
easy, and yet we just don't.
Still
so
don't
like,
do it, yeah.
It's not
I
really
don't
an
think
excuse.
we're
We don't have an
good ones.
excuse. It's just, I guess, if you've been brought up on it. I like the taste of milk in my cereal. Don't like the taste of oat milk, and I might want to, it's not excusable, but it's just preference. And
It's
I
like what
do.
you've got used to, and you
Yeah.
just carry on. You have to make more of a conscious effort. to,
I think on
change
some level
that.
it is like an excuse because we are conditioned to repeat behaviours and like buy things that are convenient and cheap for us. But do you think those kind of weaker excuses outweigh the life of the animal which is being exploited?
No.
Like when we
yeah,
go
I
to buy those
shouldn't,
products, be
really.
it like meat, dairy or eggs, do you think instead of thinking about the taste pleasure we're going to get, we should instead think about the suffering that animals gone through?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
people don't like to. Like, a lot of my friends that still eat meat, I'll be like, oh, here's a video I watched, and this made me stop eating it. They're like, no, I don't want to see it. Like,
Denial.
Right.
It's
They
like
don't-
ignorance
They
is
don't-
bliss
ignorance
kind
is
of thing,
bliss, yeah.
I think. Like, people are like, I just choose to ignore it so that I don't have to see it, so then I don't know about it, and then they don't feel bad about it, but
Yeah.
it's obviously not the right way to go about it.
Well, like you guys are saying, kind of education is the way out of that.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you guys know what happens with these industries. So now you know. Do you think that you're kind of obligated? Here we're being attacked by pigeons now. Do you think that because you're kind of aware of what's happening, you're kind of obligated to make those changes?
Yeah, and I
Would you
think-
agree?
Yeah.
I feel
also-
more guilt. Like, I feel
But
guilty
also,
knowing.
it's maybe baby steps for people who, let's say, they eat meat and dairy. Maybe just saying, rather than
Every meal.
Completely
don't
cutting
go
it
like
out,
cold turkey
yeah.
overnight. Maybe start doing like on the weekends, just eat meat or something, and then slowly you'll just become. It will be part of your diet anyway.
Then it
So
becomes
baby
it's
steps.
easier to change when you
Yeah.
like kind of do it slowly. I guess that's kind of happened in recent years. Quite a lot of people like being flexitarian, like trying different ways. Oh my god.
First very scared of
I'd just say though, like, although I understand, like for me it was a process of like 3 years cutting things out.
Yeah.
It was like meat, then dairy, then eggs. But although I would recommend going on that journey, I would also say that don't compromise on your beliefs. Like if you think that something is immoral, don't go really slowly just because it's the safer way.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah,
can.
go for it.
I've had friends that have made just said, oh, I'm vegan now, and they've just done it, and it is
Yeah.
that choice.
Yeah, it is
and like
that
for me, it was
easy.
dairy and eggs. It was such a long thing to cut out, and then one night I was like, I am vegan now, and then I just stopped.
Yeah.
And that's all it
Yeah,
takes.
just making a decision,
Mm.
committing to it.
And
Doable.
I'm encouraging people as well there's a 3-week challenge called challenge22.com, and they basically ask people to go 3 weeks vegan. And the idea is, because there's been studies that show if you can do 3 weeks on a habit, then you can change that habit, like it takes 3 weeks. So this website gives you 3 weeks worth of meal prep and give you like
good.
nutritional guides, and it's completely free. So just if you go to challenge22.com, they have all the resources there. And
Okay,
just
cool.
asking people can like challenge themselves to go 22 days. And if you do 22 days, there's no reason you can't do longer.
Yeah,
Cool.
sure.
Have a look at it.
We'd all hold each other
Yeah,
hold each other accountable. 'Cause
the animals are loving us.
They're
Yeah.
loving the veganism.
That's a good way of doing it as well. Like do it with your friends, and then
Yeah.
you can kind of help each other through it.
yeah, we're together every single day.
Yeah, we're always
always
together.
We'll do it as like a little project. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
Amazing.
Well, thanks
you.
for stopping, guys. Should we call it there? I think they're about to.
Thanks
They're all
so
about to
much.
attack
Cheers,
us.
thank you.
Good luck with your own project as well.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you get notified when videos go up every Monday and Thursday. If you want to watch another conversation, here are a couple of options. And if you want to support my activism, there's a link in my profile to a page where you can buy me a coffee. Thanks.